The last time was Saturday, and I have some thoughts, and I'm not the only one. Welcome to Silo Voice Wrestling on YouTube and the Silo Voice Wrestling podcast, wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Jason C. McLean, and this is my brief review of the December 13th, 2025 Saturday night's main event, and my review and commentary on John Cena's last match. I'm recording this Monday, December the 15th. It's around 2:40 in the afternoon right now. So I haven't seen Monday Night Raw tonight, which is obviously going to be a follow-up, at least with Gunther. Even if this comes out later, I haven't seen it yet when I'm recording this. So let's just briefly go. We had 4 matches and a comedy segment. We're going to do a quick run through of 3 of the matches in the comedy segment. Then I'm going to focus on what everybody is thinking about. Okay, so yeah, these were exhibition matches. Femi, NXT champion, versus Cody Rhodes. Really a good showcase for Femi. And I mean, honestly, it looked almost like he was going to win. Cody was bloody. And Drew McIntyre interfered. Now, I kind of thought there might be some interference in this match, tying it into the main storyline. And I see why they did it, because they want Femi to look strong, but they also don't want him to have a victory over Cody Rhodes. They also don't want him to have a loss to Cody Rhodes too, although that wouldn't really kill him. So it made sense. But still, if they could have found a way to do it without the DQ interference finish, it would have been better. But still, I get it. This really was a showcase for Sol Ruca, who actually defeated Bayley. But wow, I haven't really been watching NXT. I'd seen some of those tag matches on the main roster that she was involved with, but like, I was very impressed. I'm pretty sure she's going to be on the main roster soon enough. And, you know, Bayley did the job, but Bayley still looks fine because Sol Ruca, wow, talk about flipping around. That was excellent. That was of the undercard, definitely a highlight. You want to talk flipping around? Well, Javon Evans got his main roster victory against The Miz on SmackDown. So he had lost to what? He lost to Sami Zayn, to Gunther, and it made sense that his team lost in this match. But this was a flippy match. It made sense that the World Tag Team Champions didn't lose to a bunch of NXT stars, especially with Leon Slater, who teamed with Javon Evans, who is a TNA star and champion, and Javon Evans. I think Javon Evans is going to be on the main roster soon. But of course, AJ Styles, Dragon Lee pulled off the victory. But that was an exciting match. That was a this is awesome type match. It was fun to watch. As for the comedy segment, well, we had The Miz coming out into... Oh, yeah, by the way, Stephanie McMahon was there with Joe Tessitore instead of Jesse Ventura. I heard that both of them were going to be there. Maybe Jesse pulled away at the last minute because it was in Washington, D.C., and he was worried about who might show up. I'm not worried about, but maybe he didn't want to be on the same show, or they didn't want to put him on the same show that potentially the president was going to show up at. So that could have had something to do with it. Also, Stephanie McMahon's the kind of person that's not really going to, piss too many people off. And she also has a very strong connection to John Cena's career. So that was fun. But Stephanie McMahon and Joe Tessitore got interrupted by The Miz. Then R-Truth came out. And they brought back that comedy bit. I knew The Miz was going to somehow show up. And it made sense. Yeah, he was upset. And he's like, you messed around with inappropriate behavior with Nick Aldis's balls. And he shows him the ball that he would have picked. And they brought that back. And you could actually read Joe Hendry on it. And I think the audience saw that and they reacted before, because Joe Hendry, they showed the clip, he came out right after his music started. So Joe Hendry comes in. We had a fun little bit with Joe Hendry and R-Truth. I mean, Joe Hendry pinned The Miz, even though it wasn't an official match. R-Truth was the de facto referee. So that was a fun little let me up comedy bit before the part that everyone is talking about. So we had all the pageantry and celebrities throughout the night that you might expect. And in the final match, we see all the people at ringside. John Cena hugging Kevin Owens, Trish Stratus. I think Elias was there. Not sure. Yeah, that was him. And Sami Zayn, who was there with his son. You could hear Lillian Garcia's voice almost breaking when she did the final introduction of Cena. There were, of course, a lot of hope spots. Gunther was dominant. And at the end, it seemed like Cena did the whole hulking up with everything, with the whole arm dropping and staying up the third time, and eventually he was like pulling. He was trying to turn the the sleeper into an AA. He did this a few times. He did like a avalanche A off the top rope. Gunther went up to the ropes, got stopped. It was incredible, match, back and forth. But then Gunther logically started beat him in, and then eventually Cena smiled and tapped out. Now, when Gunther retired Goldberg, he did his like heel ending, and he slipped away, and then there was the big celebration for Goldberg's career. Same thing happened here. Gunther got the massive boos from the crowd, slipped away. But when all like Triple H and all the wrestlers came out for the celebration, the crowd started booing Triple H. Like it wasn't like they made it clear that he's who they were booing at. Cody and CM Punk gave Cena their championships to hold them up. He took off his sneakers, left them in the ring. Somebody in the crowd was chanting, "Jorts, like take off the jorts." No, not going to happen. That was funny. But it was still a very emotional end. Cena watching the video, it was the teary end, the big cheers for Cena. But Triple H, though, got booed. He got booed in the aftermatch, in the post-show by the crowd. Now, I honestly think that people are split on this one. Watching the match, I figured that Gunther was going to win, but I didn't think Cena was going to tap out. And at the end, I started getting hope that maybe Cena was going to win his final match, even though it went against my logic. But when it ended the way it did, Cena smiled and tapped out. Yes, he's the guy who never gave up and said never give up. And yes, he gave up, but not from the pain. He gave up because he was like, I'm done. This is how I end my career. Tap out. He tapped out one final time. Basically, he gave up on the in-ring career because he was done. And that was poetic. That was perfect. And I do believe that that's exactly what John Cena wanted. I'm pretty sure if John Cena said he wanted to win his last match, they would have let him win his last match. And in fact, I'm pretty sure Triple H, the booker, they said, no, we want you to win your last match. And Cena says, no, I want to tap out on my career. I want Gunther's a tap out guy. I think the whole thing of Gunther setting it up, like, I'm going to make you tap out, that was probably Cena's idea. So you know what? One thing I love, the boo Gunther. Yes, Gunther actually now has real heel heat with the audience, which is incredible. I mean, heels have heat. People boo Dominic Mysterio, Drew McIntyre, but they're kind of having fun doing it. Cena or Gunther, it's that angry kind of heat. It's like Michael Cole said, professional wrestling is won out over sports entertainment, basically saying Gunther is the kind of guy that would have worked in any era. He's the classic heel. And he actually got like territories level heel heat. He needed security to be walked out of the building. Okay, fine. People weren't trying to stab him or actually throw things at him because that'd be in trouble. They still know it's a show, but like it's perfect. They've actually managed to build a monster heel with real heel heat just by having him tap out John Cena. And I'm sure Gunther is going to be on Raw tonight. Again, I haven't watched it yet, whenever you see this or whenever this comes out, but I'm sure he's going to probably start off the show. He's going to get massive boos. I think he might retire Brock Lesnar. I think he might retire AJ Styles. Then maybe Randy Orton, the former legend killer. I think, yes, the heat on the heel heat on Gunther is deserved, is earned, is what they wanted. And thank you, Cena, for having Gunther probably, if he does continue to be this monster heel, not just this like badass this monster heel that everyone hates, and he becomes a main eventer because of this. Like, I'm talking the real title there, like the main event night 2 of WrestleMania as the bad guy. He has John Cena in a lot of parts to thank for that. So that's good heat. The heat on Triple H, though, I honestly think that the fans booing him because they think it's his decision. They want to blame someone other than, I guess, Cena for that decision. And I honestly think people don't get the fact that this is a traditionalist. This is how he has to go out. And the poetry of him tapping out, finally giving up because he said this is his last match. And he's like, he tried, and no, he's given up. That's it. I think that was beautiful. I think that was perfect. And honestly, I think the booing the Triple H kind of takes away from that moment a little bit from some of the fans there. But I understand why they did it. If I was in that crowd, might have done the same thing, but in the heat of the moment. But I think if the heat's directed at Gunther, it worked perfectly. I think this was an absolutely the right call. And absolutely, even though it shocked some of the people in the crowd, and I could have seen a victory working just as well, I think this is absolutely poetic, absolutely the right call. And in no way tarnishes the reputation of John Cena. It actually augments it, and it really augments the reputation of Gunther. This whole show is what turned out to be what Cena wanted. Like, it's all about the future, not the past. Well, that's how I saw Saturday night's main event and what I thought about Cena's final match and the result of it. Do you agree with me? I think half of you might not. By all means, let me know in the comments. Follow at Silo Voice Wrestling on Facebook and Instagram, at Silo Wrestling on X, and me at Jason C. McLean on X and Instagram. Also, jasoncmclean.bsky.social on Bluesky for wrestling news, written form, silovoicewrestling.com. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, ring that bell for notifications to get all my wrestling hot takes, cold takes, simmering takes, WWE Premium Live Event prediction and review videos, assorted thoughts on Raw and SmackDown, and wrestling opinion pieces. This kind of was one of those. Also, coming up, I didn't do an assorted thoughts on SmackDown. I might not do one on Raw tonight because I'm going to get out what we already recorded. I already recorded with my brother. I got 5 different 2020 best of 2025 like year in review type videos, culminating with the top 5 matches of the year. So that's coming up. Until then, for Silo Voice Studios in Montreal, I'm Jason C. McLean.